Imagine for a moment if you took Battletoads, the dudes from Double Dragon, and gave them bath salts, cocaine, and copious amount of alcohol. You then put them in a WWF cage match, ready to kill each other and Guile for daring to have perfect hair. Actually, that would be a decent game. Today's game is a steaming pile of garbage, not fit to be a coaster in a crack house. This is Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker for PlayStation. Quite possibly one of, if not the worst attempts at a beat-em-up I have ever seen in my entire life. So where do I even begin? Well, let's start with the animation quality, or lack thereof. Angst Batman here has less frames of animation than Batman Returns for SNES. I am not kidding. His movement is stiff, his attacks are stiff, and there's less effort put into his model than your average NFT picture. And yes, that includes the dumb monkey thing. And this level of quality is repeated everywhere. Enemies are stiff, backgrounds are bland, and even the pickup icons are more lifeless than a zombie apocalypse. Speaking of apocalypse, you hear the music? Well, you can't hear this part because it fails for some reason, but you'll hear it eventually. That's all you get up until the last stage. Not joking. It's even worse on the N64 version, looping every 10 to 15 seconds. It's like they found a small segment of a forgettable 90s action flick. Instead of paying for the rights, paid a hobo a Happy Meal to do a few strings on an axe, while he was stroking out from sheer joy at what Pokemon toy he would get in his Happy Meal. Speaking of strokes, let's talk about the collision detection, or lack of. Your hits have limited impact on enemies and seem to either hit very hard or be coated in butter. This is not exactly shown here as I'm cheesing with the shield, but in most cases it's the exact opposite. So, they only occasionally stun the enemies, and you could do air quotes combos on them, but it's more just keep tapping them as they get stun locked until they die. But the problem is in a lot of cases, if they hit you back, it doesn't really stun lock. However, it is also entirely random if that stun lock even occurs. 2/3 of the time, they will smack you as you hit them, wasting health, and there lies another major issue. It's much less a brawler and much more a simulator of how well you can ration your health, because Terrier has a glass jaw, and ribs, and everywhere, I guess. He basically has the same constitution and combat ability as Barbie. Actually, I may have just insulted Barbie. As if the butter combat wasn't bad enough. You get various suit modes and gadgets, and the power suit barely hits harder than normal, at the expense of taking nearly triple damage. The mobility suit you will maybe use 2 times in the entire game and quickly forget it exists. And the only practical suit you will actually use throughout the entire game is the defensive suit. This suit alone is practically a requirement for getting anywhere. You're immune to damage from most sources while blocking, and allows you to shield punch, which is the most dependable stun in the game and helps ration health even when you get hit. It also helps deal with combinations of enemies that cheap shot. There are various gadgets on the standard suit, but most of them are pretty much worthless. The Bat Staff has too short range, the electric nunchucks have collision issues, and the Bat Discus is limited supply and used solely for cheesing bosses. Yes, I said Bat Discus. They couldn't even be asked to get the name right. It's Batarangs, you dumb fucks. Oh my god. Batman does not bring Olympic throwing items with him. That would be Wonder Woman's territory. I must also point out this abomination is criminally short, clocking in at a whopping 5 stages long, and if it wasn't for the weird difficulty curves, you could kill it off in about 40 minutes. Thankfully, it's also only 5 stages. If this shit show was any longer, I might have to consider breaking out my old pal the Noose. There, girl. Maybe some other time. In conclusion, Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker, is well beyond anything resembling a good game. And the only joke to be had here is me for playing this crap, or the poor guy that paid full price at Funkoland for this abomination when it was released. I am no talent Red Mage, and this has been Bat Guano in disc form. I'm gonna go drink bleach now so I could forget I ever played this. I'll see you next time.